We spend our lives chasing goals, yet somehow they never feel like enough. You hit the milestone, you get the promotion, and still, a quiet question lingers. Why doesn't this feel complete? The hidden truth is this. Most of us are running toward dreams that were never truly ours. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. This is The Lens of the Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, a story that reveals why we search outside, for what has been inside us all along. Welcome to Beyond the Books. Let's step into the journey. Most people don't miss their destiny because they never had a chance. They miss it because they talk themselves out of answering the first quiet invitation. The story begins with a simple question. What does it truly mean to follow the path of your life? At first glance, The Alchemist is a fable about a shepherd boy chasing treasure. But beneath the surface is something more intimate than a tale. A mirror of how life actually unfolds. How desire turns into direction. How the world seems to conspire, but only after you take the first step. How every secret you seek first tests how badly you want to find it. Every journey begins with a whisper. For Santiago, it comes as a dream. A recurring vision of treasure buried near the pyramids of Egypt. Most people would dismiss it as nothing. A flicker of imagination, forgotten before breakfast. But here is the first truth about human life. The beginnings of your real life rarely announce themselves. They arrive as soft signals, easy to ignore, asking if you're paying attention. Think about your own life, the idea that keeps circling back. The subject you search for when no one's watching. The dream that leaves you strangely alive, even if you roll your eyes at yourself. Most people bury these whispers under routines and responsibilities. They wait for certainty, for someone to give permission first. But life never offers a guarantee. It gives you a whisper, and waits to see if you answer. Santiago feels that tension. He could remain a shepherd forever. Safe, familiar, unnoticed. But every meaningful life begins with this turning point. Saying yes to the whisper. He sells his flock. He steps into the unknown. Almost immediately, the first law of the journey appears. Life tests sincerity before it rewards courage. The moment you commit to something that matters, resistance stirs. Obstacles appear. Money slips away. The familiar world dissolves before the new one arrives. Most people misread this moment. They think, maybe I shouldn't have tried. But the truth is quieter, more precise. Life is asking, are you willing to walk without proof? Santiago arrives in Tangier and, within hours, loses everything. Betrayed, alone, empty-handed. And here, the second law of transformation appears. Every loss carries instructions disguised as pain. Failure isn't life rejecting you. It's life reshaping you. In real life, this is the entrepreneur whose first business sinks. The artist whose first gallery show no one attends. The person who moves to a new city and wonders late at night if they've made a mistake. At first, it feels like collapse. But beneath the sting, something is being stripped away. The version of you that could only survive under familiar conditions. Santiago works for the crystal merchant. On the surface, it's a step backward. But in the architecture of self-becoming, it's the refining stage. He learns patience. He learns to read people without speaking. He discovers that 1,000 invisible repetitions create visible change. What feels like delay is often preparation in disguise. Think about the seasons in your own life that felt like nothing was happening. The internship that seemed pointless. The quiet job that felt like holding your breath. The year you spent learning how to be alone. These are the crucibles where the foundation is poured. Life wastes nothing. It waits for you to absorb the lesson before revealing the next signal. The caravan arrives. The desert opens, vast, silent, unforgiving. This is more than scenery. The desert is the inner journey made visible. In life, this is the moment when old identities burn off, when you are not sure who you are, without the roles you used to play, when distraction fades, and the only voice left is your own. Santiago meets the Englishman obsessed with alchemy, and the metaphor sharpens. Pursuing your personal legend is an alchemical process. Alchemy is the turning of base metals into gold, but in both the story and life, the real gold is you. The self, refined by pressure, loss, and devotion. If you receive the treasure before you've become the person who can hold it, it will slip through your fingers. This is why so many people finally get what they wanted, and still feel hollow. They skipped the desert. They avoided the refining. Santiago learns to read the language of the world, not in words, but in patterns. The flight of birds, the sudden shift of wind, the timing of chance encounters. In real life, this feels like alignment. Opportunities appear. Conversations click. The right people show up at the right time. It's not magic. It's the natural result of finally stepping into your own life. The world starts to speak to you the day you stop pretending you can't hear it. Then comes the threshold. The alchemist appears. Not to give answers, but to demand transformation. True mentors do not carry you. They hold up mirrors. They push you to the edge where half measures die. Santiago must risk everything. He must trust his own becoming. And in that surrender, the final alchemy occurs. The treasure he chased in the world, he now carries within. And here is the secret most people miss. When inner alignment completes, the outer treasure often appears as a reflection. Santiago returns to where he began. But he is no longer the same person. The system has closed its loop. He is whole, and the world responds. The hidden structure of the alchemist is also the hidden structure of many real lives. 1. Signal. A whisper awakens your desire. 2. Disruption. Life strips away comfort to test sincerity. 3. Refinement, delay, and loss forge the inner foundation. 4. Alignment. Awareness sharpens. Patterns reveal themselves. 5. Threshold. Absolute surrender transforms you. 6. Integration. Inner and outer treasure meet. The loop completes. Ignore the signal, and life stagnates. Answer it, and everything reorganizes. There are no shortcuts. Every stage must be lived. Every lesson must be felt. The treasure was never the prize. It was the proof that you had finally become the person who could hold it. What you seek is already seeking you. But it only becomes real when you take one step toward it. Right now, write one sentence. The thing my heart wants most is... Don't overthink it. Just claim it. That's the first move toward your personal legend. Comment your sentence below. Your journey begins the moment you name it. Like this video, subscribe to Beyond the Books. And if there's a book you want to truly understand, tell us in the comments. This is where reading ends and becoming begins.